All right, let's get right into it. If you go back to the early 2000s, the whole idea of a successful electric car company, well, it felt like a total fantasy, a pipe dream. But you fast forward to today, and Tesla isn't just a car company. It has become one of the most powerful AI and energy titans in history. So in this explainer, we're going to break down its really misunderstood beginnings, the secret plan that drove everything, and its massive pivot into a future that goes way, way beyond cars.
And I mean, this slide right here really says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you've got 2003, where Tesla was just this crazy idea that very few people took seriously. And on the other, you have 2026, where it's an absolute powerhouse in artificial intelligence and energy. So the big question is, how on earth did a company go from being a complete long shot to a global giant? Well, the story is a lot more complicated and honestly a lot more interesting than most people think.
You know, it all kicked off with this incredible, unlikely dream, which was actually born from the failure of another company's attempt at an electric car. This first part of the story is all about that founding vision and the founders that most people have forgotten. Turns out, there was a surprisingly clear plan right from the very beginning, even if nobody else could see it.
Now here's something that clears up a huge misconception. Tesla was actually founded back in 2003 by two guys named Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. They were inspired after GM famously killed its EV1 electric car. Elon Musk, he joined a year later as the main investor, but his biggest moment, the one that really defined his role, came in 2008. That's when he took over as CEO, right when the company was about to completely collapse during the financial crisis. I mean, this was a time when just surviving was a win.
So, what was the vision that got them through all that chaos? It was something Musk laid out called the Secret Master Plan. And look, this wasn't just about building some cool, fast cars. The entire mission, right there in black and white, was to speed up the whole world's shift to sustainable energy. This wasn't just a business plan, it was a manifesto.
And the plan itself was just brilliantly simple. It had three main steps. First, build a really expensive low-volume sports car, that was the original Roadster, to prove that electric cars could be awesome. Step 2, take the money from that and build a more affordable mid-volume car, which became the Model S. And then finally, Step 3, take all that money and create a car for the masses, the Model 3. Each step was literally designed to pay for the next one.
But actually pulling that plan off? Oh, that was anything but simple. And that brings us to the company's most legendary crisis, a period that almost destroyed them, but in the end is what forged them into the industrial powerhouse they are today. We were in production hell. That's a direct quote from Elon Musk, and it just perfectly sums up the absolute agony of 2017 and 2018. See, the company had tons of orders for the Model 3, but they just couldn't figure out how to build them at scale. They had bet everything on this super automated factory, and it had completely backfired. The entire future of Tesla was riding on fixing this one problem. And this is where the story becomes the stuff of legend. Musk literally moved into the factory. He slept on the floor for weeks so he could personally work on fixing the robotic assembly lines himself. It was this crazy, all-in gamble to drag the company out of the fire by pure force of will. And somehow, against all the odds, it actually worked. Now, the lessons they learned in that hell led directly to this whole new level of engineering madness, which is perfectly captured by the Cybertruck. Yeah, we all remember the shattered glass at the launch, but the truck itself was a revolution in manufacturing. Its stainless steel body required totally new ways of building things, and its 48-volt electrical system rethought how a car's even wired. It was basically Tesla declaring to the world that they were done playing by the auto industry's old rules.
This crazy new ambition wasn't just in their engineering, it was in their financial strategy too. Musk's pay package is probably one of the wildest bets in corporate history, tying his entire paycheck directly to the company achieving almost impossible success.
I mean, think about it. A normal CEO gets a huge salary, big cash bonuses, a lot of times, no matter how the company does long-term. Musk's 2018 plan, it was the complete opposite. He took zero salary. Zero. Instead, he got a bunch of stock options that were totally worthless unless the company hit these incredibly difficult goals for its value and operations. It was literally all or nothing.
And this chart just gives you a sense of how impossible those goals really seemed. The final target was a market cap of $650 billion. I mean, that would make Tesla one of the biggest companies on the planet. The experts, the pundits, they all said it was absurd. But as we all know now, Tesla didn't just hit that target, it blew past it, making that pay plan the largest in modern history.
And the stakes have only gotten higher since then. By 2026, there's a new, even crazier plan in place. This time, his pay isn't just tied to cars, it's directly linked to major breakthroughs in artificial intelligence and actually deploying their Optimus robots.
This new bet puts him on a potential path to becoming the world's first trillionaire, and it shows you everything you need to know about where the company's real focus is now.
But all that success didn't mean they crossed some finish line. Not at all. In fact, it just opened up a whole new battlefield. Today, Tesla is fighting new wars on a completely new frontier.
Because look, success is never a sure thing, and the risks they face today are massive. First, you've got the EV wars. They're in full swing now with brutal competition from giants like BYD in China, who are beating Tesla on both volume and price. Second, getting governments to approve full self-driving is still a huge, unpredictable roadblock. And finally, investors are really worried about what they call key man risk, the idea that Musk's attention is split between SpaceX, X, and all his other ventures.
So, after all of that, what's the big takeaway? It's this. Tesla's very identity is changing right before our eyes. The next chapter, the one that's supposed to justify its enormous valuation and its future dreams, isn't really about cars anymore. It's about AI.
And this is what that AI future actually looks like. All the data from millions of cars on the road is training full self-driving version 13, pushing what autonomous cars can do. The Optimus humanoid robots are actually starting to be used in real factories, learning to do human jobs. From Tesla's point of view, they're not just building cars anymore. They're building the AI and robotics infrastructure for an entirely new kind of economy.
So you think about it. From a total pipe dream to a global juggernaut, Tesla forced the entire car industry to go electric. It changed the world once. And now, as it pivots to artificial intelligence and robotics, the billion or maybe trillion-dollar question is it about to do it all over again?